In this video, I'm fixing a broken solar panel microinverter system. Here's some of the tools that I need when I'm working on the system. So I'm gonna grab an impact driver, and you'll need a 1/2 inch 7/16 or a 6mm Allen for most solar panel attachment systems. I have insulated screwdrivers, some wire strippers, clamp meter can come in handy, or one of these voltage meters as well. A Phillips head and a 1/4 inch bit, a few wire nuts, and a few other screws and things I'm going to carry up with me. Find out where that junction box is, where the wires come under the solar panels and transition into the attic space. Wanted to vlog this repair job to kind of walk you through what I'm doing on this site, because I think I have no internet connection and no data being reported for the last year. It looks like half of the system isn't working. Just a reminder, don't work on electricity unless you know what you're doing. This is for entertainment and demonstration purposes. What I'm going to do first, turn off the system and verify that electricity is off. This is a microinverter system, so everything past the panel is AC. So it's really easy to just test it and tell whether wires are live or not. So I'll turn off those breakers. I'm gonna get up on the roof. I'm gonna find the first junction box where all the wires run to. And that's generally where my issue is. I removed 2 of the solar panels. A lot of times you have to start from the end and remove till you get to that junction box. It's kind of hard to remove panels in the middle. But I was able to remove 2 panels in the middle, access that junction box. And what I did from there is tested, verified that it was dead, and then I rewired that junction box. If there's a loose connection or a bad connection or anything that the system doesn't like, it's gonna turn off and it's not gonna work. And then from there, what I did is I traced that wire run from that junction box to the sub panel, and every single pull box or junction box or conduit body or anything, I opened it up, inspected the wires, and redid the connections. One of the best practices for the industry is weeping holes. There was a little outdoor rated box, and I drilled a hole in the lowest point of it so that water would be able to drain out. And I see this time and time again. If the box is watertight, water will get in and then it can't get out. And then you're gonna have a short circuit and you're gonna have issues with having moisture inside of those. Traced it all the way back to the breakers, rechecked the connections. And once all of that was done, I turned the system back on. Most of these systems are very much set up for solar installers. Like, you need to go through trainings, you need to download the app, you need to create an account. But in a lot of situations, the manufacturer will work with the homeowner to let them kind of reset up their system if there's some slight adjustments that need to be made. In this situation, I can download the installer app, then I can log into this customer's account. And what I did is I went to the Wi-Fi settings, updated the credentials for the homeowner's Wi-Fi. And when I did that, the system immediately came back online, started reporting data, and I could verify that all the panels are working. I want to make a clarification too. Microinverters are not the only system setup that people have. A lot of people have a inverter on the side of their home, a central inverter or a string inverter, maybe Solar Edge or SMA or Fronius. You might see some of those brands and be able to look it up. In those situations, the electricity coming from your solar panels to that inverter is DC, not AC. And so you're working with a totally different set of rules and troubleshooting. This is specifically for microinverter systems. Some solar panel systems that are direct current all the way to the inverter don't have any shut-off devices, and the electricity that you're working on is always live. And if you take like a stick to it to see if the current's live, it's going to tell you it's dead because it's DC, not AC. So please be careful. So there's 3 main brands of microinverters. You have Enphase, AP Systems, and HoyMiles. There's other manufacturers out there, but those are the 3 most common ones I see doing repair and maintenance. I wanted to go over the basics of troubleshooting these types of systems to help you as a end user understand how your system works, how to fix it, and maybe do some basic troubleshooting, or at least understand your system enough that you know how to communicate with somebody to come out and make the proper repairs. A microinverter is installed underneath the solar panel. DC electricity from the solar panel goes into the microinverter, and then the microinverter changes that into AC electricity. You have 240 volts, somewhere around 300 to 400 watts, and about 1 amp. That comes out of every single one of these microinverters. So working on a microinverter system is very similar to working on traditional electricity. a lot of times you'll have wires and you'll have a black one, a red one, and that's line 1, line 2, 240 volts. And you'll have a ground and sometimes a neutral. First thing you want to do is identify what brand you have and what type of microinverters. Some microinverters are for 1 panel, 2 panel, 3 panels, 4 panels, and they all have different capacities. Each one of these systems will have some kind of unit, a small plastic unit with maybe a little screen, a few buttons on it, maybe some antennas, and that unit communicates with the microinverters on the roof and is able to send data to your phone or to a server and communicate. That device is generally located in an enclosed box next to your panel, or maybe in your garage or close to where your home networking is. In general, when I'm working on a solar panel system and the customer's having issues with the microinverter system, there's 2 problems. One, we have a bad connection, bad wiring, bad connection, maybe water. And number 2 is we just have a network or a communications problem where that control unit needs to be reset or reconnected to the Wi-Fi, or it needs an update. So there are situations where you may not have any sort of monitoring set up with your solar panel system. And if it's never been set up, you may not have the ability to buy one of these units. Like, they might not make them. You may not be able to buy it, and you may not be able to set it up. So one of the things that I can do is I'll take a clamp meter, that's DC and AC, a clamp meter, and I'm able to use it on the conductors to see how much current is running through that wire. And I can check all the wires and make sure that every circuit that's on the roof is producing power, is actively producing power. This is interesting because a lot of times you'll have solar panel systems. They're divided up into sections, into circuits, and maybe one of the sections is bad. So 50% of the system's working, 25% of the system's working, whatever it is. There's sections that usually go out altogether because of a wiring issue, whether it's a bad wire nut, a water, whatever the general electrical issue is with the wiring. It can take down a section of the system, and then you're left with a partially operating solar panel installation, and you're probably going to see 50% increase in your electrical bill because it's no longer taking care of that. So I didn't show it, but I am finished up with the network connection on this system. I was using my phone to make the network connection, so I couldn't film it, but it's pretty easy. You can download the app. You may have to contact the manufacturer and get a login if you don't already have one, and then you can use Wi-Fi to connect to this device. And this is similar for AP systems, for Enphase, for HoyMiles, is that you will actually have a Wi-Fi network that's created from this device. In this situation, it's a HoyMiles DTU. And then you can connect to that network from your phone, from your network settings on your phone. And then you can open up the app, and then you have access to different menus where you can update the communications for Wi-Fi, or you can reset it, or you can change different things. So I will have some resources below with links to the websites for these major manufacturers and links to their apps and some additional resources. So hopefully if you found this video, you have a microinverter system with solar panels, you could do some basic troubleshooting and understand your system better and figure it out. I appreciate you watching this video, supporting this channel. Please like the video and subscribe, and check out the other content I have.